Well, hello Internet, and welcome to part 3 of my linear algebra tutorial series. In this part of the tutorial, we're going to discuss how whenever we are solving system of equations, how we'll know if we have one, no, or many solutions. And I'll also talk about adding and subtracting matrices. And I have a lot to do, so let's get into it. Okay, so we are either going to have one solution, no solutions, or many or infinite solutions whenever we are solving linear equations. And I want to go through, you've already seen situations in which you had one solution, so I want to go through some solutions where you will have no solutions and many solutions and show you exactly how to spot when that occurs. So we are going to start off with some equations here, and this will also give us some practice in solving more equations. And feel free to go ahead and solve this along with me. The more practice, the better, of course. And based off of input from people that watch these videos, from after this video, every video afterwards will have a real-world situation explained in which the information I'm teaching you is directly applicable to the real world. So keep giving me input and I will keep changing the videos to make them the way you want them to be. Okay, so now we'll convert this into an augmented matrix. Very simple process, of course. And a -3, and a 2, and a -13. And you can go ahead and rush and see if you can solve this quicker than I can solve it. I, of course, have to use a weird pen, so puts me at a little bit of a disadvantage, but I also have the ability to edit. Okay, so what I want to do here first is I want to, well, normally what I'd need to do is I'd need to convert the pivot to 1, but as you can see right here, it is already 1, so I don't need to worry about doing that. So then what I want to do is I want to take this number here and convert both of them into 0. And if you didn't watch previous tutorials, you might be slightly confused. So the formula that I am going to use right now is going to be R1 times negative A21. So that is going to be row 2, column 1. Then I'm going to add that to the value of R2 and put it in row 2. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing for row 3. So the negative value of whatever is in row 3, column 1, plus the value inside of R3, and then I'm going to put that inside of row 3. So let's go and do it. So this is going to end up being, this is going to be the second row. This is going to be 1 times 1 minus 1. And the next column is going to be -3 times 1 plus 2. Then we're going to have 1 times 1 minus 5. And then finally we'll have 4 times 1 plus 3. On the third row, we're going to have 1 times -5 plus 5. And -3 times -5 minus 13. 1 times -5 plus 13. And then finally 4 times -5 plus 8. And of course, across the top row, nothing changes because I didn't perform any calculations up there. And this is 1 and this is 4. Okay, so now we just need to solve this. And of course, this is going to give us a new matrix with the values of 1, 0, 0. So we got both our zeros that we wanted. -3, -1, 2, 1, -4, 8, 4, and 7, and -12. Okay, so what do we have to do next? Well, we have to convert this -1 into a positive 1. And how are we going to do that? We're going to divide every value in row 2 by -1. And that is extremely simple. What that's basically going to do, let's just jump right to it because the math is hardly complex. This, of course, stays as 1. This, of course, stays as 0. This is 0. This is still going to be negative 3. This now is going to be 1 because negative 1 divided by negative 1 equals 1, 2. This is going to be 1, of course. This is going to be 4 because negative 4 divided by negative 4 is equal to 4. And this is going to be 4, and this is going to be 7, and this is going to be negative 12. All right, so we have our second pivot done. Now what are we going to do after this? Well, we need to convert this into a 0 and this into a 0. All right, so how exactly will we do that? Pretty much exactly the way that we solved the previous one. We're going to get R2 times the negative value of A, row 1, column 2, plus the value in R1, and put that in R1. And then we are going to go and get row 2 times the negative value for A, row 3, column 2, plus value in row 3, and put it into row 3. So let's do it. And whenever we do, we're going to end up, let's just leave this as 1, and this is going to be 0, and this will be 0. Then we're going to have 1 times 3 minus 3. This will remain 1. Then we'll have 1 times negative 2 plus 2. 4 times 3 plus 1. 4. 4 times negative 2 plus 8. Negative 7 times 3 minus 7. This remains 7. This will be negative 7 times negative 2 minus 12. And then if we come in here and we solve all of those, what we're going to get here now, and I'm just going to put it on a completely different line, is the following matrix, which is going to be 1, 0, 0. Everything looks good so far. 0, 1, 0, still okay. 8, 4, 0. Uh-oh, now we got a problem. And negative 28, 7, and 2. Well, what we have here is a situation in which we have no solution. Basically, anytime you see a matrix that ends up being like this, in this form, and then you have whatever values you have here, this is a sign that you have no solution. And the reason why is basically what the last row is saying is that 0 is equal to 2. And that isn't true, as I think we can all agree. And that is the reason why we know there are no solutions. Okay? Now what we want to do is we want to handle a situation in which we have many solutions or an infinite number of solutions. So we're going to start off with a couple equations. So x minus y plus z is equal to 0. 2x plus y minus 3z is equal to 0. 4x plus 2y minus 6z is equal to 0. And a situation in which you have many solutions or infinite solutions has nothing to do with all of our equations equaling 0, just so I make that clear. Okay, so let's go and put this in an augmented matrix. This is going to end up being 1, negative 1, 1, and 0. 2, and 1, and negative 3, and 0. And 4, 2, negative 6, and 0. All right. So what are we going to do? Well, we already have our first pivot as a value of 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to take R1 times negative version of A21, which is row 2, column 1. We're going to add that to whatever the value of R2 is and put it in R2. What are we going to do to the other one? Well, we're going to have R1 times negative of whatever the value is, or whatever the value is in row 1, column 1. And we're going to add that to each value inside of row 3 and put the results inside of R3. So let's do all this math. So this is going to end up being 1 times negative 2 plus 2. This is going to end up being 1 times negative 4 plus 4. And this is going to remain 1, of course. Then for our next value, we'll have negative 1 times negative 2 plus 1. And this will be negative 1 times negative 4 plus 2. We'll have 1 times negative 2 minus 3. 1 times negative 4 minus 6. 0 times negative 2 plus 0. And 0 times negative 4 plus 0. And of course, across the top, everything stays exactly the same. Right like that. And if we solve these problems, and like I said, starting in the next video, I will give you a real-world example for each one of these. Thank you for the input. All right. So we will have 1, negative 1. I mean, basically what I'm doing here is just showing you how to verify the number of solutions whenever you solve an equation. So that would sort of be a real-world situation. But I promise next time I will give you a more interesting example. So here is our new matrix. And what do we need to do next? Well, we need to take row 2 and divide it by 3 to give us a value of 1. And I'm going to do that directly inside of here because that's pretty easy to handle. So this is going to then be equal to 1, negative 1, 1, and 0. This is going to be 0, 1. So we got the 1 we wanted. This is going to end up being negative 5 over 3. And this will be 0. And of course, this doesn't change. 0, 6, negative 10, and 0. All right, so we got that all set. And there we are. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Well, we have to convert this 6 and this negative 1 into a 0. Again, I think you should probably be getting pretty good at these by now. The negative value of a, and isn't that the point of doing this? So R1 and R1, and then we will take R2 times the negative value of a, row 3, column 2, plus R3, and put it into R3. And whenever we do this, we will end up, I'm not going to do the calculation here because we know exactly what we're going to get. This next one's going to be 1 times 1 minus 1. And then this will remain 1. And this one down here is going to be 1 times negative 6 plus 6. Negative 5 over 3 times 1 plus 1. This will remain negative 5 over 3. And this will be negative 5 over 3 times negative 6 minus 10. And then this will be 0 times 1 plus 0. This will be 0, and this will be 0 times negative 6 plus 0. And if we perform all of those calculations, what are we going to get? We are going to get a 1. This is going to be a 0. This is a 0. This is going to be a 0. Everything is looking fantastic. Negative 2 over 3 and negative 5 over 3. And this is a 0. So we think we'll fix that next time. And then 1, 0, and then whoops, we have another 0. So what we have here is a many solution situation. And you'll be able to recognize it because whenever you have zeros across all of the values in your row. So basically what the last row here is telling us is that 0 times z is equal to 0. So that means z could have a value of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 100,000, and it would still be okay. And anytime you see that, you know that you have a situation in which you have many or infinite solutions. All right, and to finish off, what I want to do is talk about adding matrices. This is extremely simple. Basically, exactly the way you would think you would add matrices is precisely the way that you would. Up next, we will talk about multiplying matrices. That does not work exactly the way that you would think that it would, but it is extremely useful. So, if you want to add these matrices, what do? Well, you just add up the corresponding cells. So 11 plus 2 is 13. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Negative 1 plus 4 equals 3. And 1 plus negative 6 equals negative 5. There you go. That is how you add matrices. Pretty simple stuff. But you say, how hard is it to subtract matrices? It is extremely easy to subtract matrices because you do exactly the same thing. You basically just find the corresponding cells and you subtract them, which is going to give you a value of 9, negative 5, negative 1, and negative 5. And there you go. Hopefully you found this tutorial useful. And like always, please leave your questions and comments down below. Otherwise, till next time.